reasons why almost all the severe or moderate to severe kids on the spectrum who are struggling with speech and who go to these therapies year after year fails to achieve speech. Okay, you ready? Let's jump right into it. Number one is gut-brain inflammation. Wow, that's nothing new. If you have been following me for a while, it's not something that is really new. Okay, because I have been talking about gut-brain axis, gut-brain connection, and gut-brain inflammation for a long time. So the gut-brain axis plays a significant role in neurodevelopmental and behavior issue for autistic kids. Studies have found that, and by the way, I am gonna link as many of the studies as I can because I have to read through like 50 individual studies to correlate all of this information that I'm bringing you today. Okay, let me know in the comment if you would like that, and I will personally deliver the links to you. So, studies have found that individuals with autism spectrum disorder often exhibit gastrointestinal issues and distinct microbial profile. These microbial changes may affect the gut-brain axis, influencing neurodevelopment and behavior. So chronic inflammation in the gut can lead to systemic inflammation. Systemic means any inflammation in the blood, okay? So chronic inflammation in the gut, in your child's gut, can actually lead to the blood inflammation. And where is blood going? It is going to the brain. So whenever there is a gut inflammation, it is going to the brain, not just through the gut-brain axis, but also through the blood-brain barrier, okay? And that affects brain function and contributes to cognitive and behavioral symptoms. So for example, if your child is having a lot of meltdown, not understanding what's going on, not understanding commands, not understanding social situations, that is happening because of gut-brain inflammation. So does speech language therapy work on gut-brain inflammation? No, because that is something that is being done from outside, like you or the therapist trying to teach some word to the child and not really focusing or addressing the gut-brain inflammation, which is the number one reason why your child is not speaking or communicating or understanding or sleeping or having mood behaviors. Figure that. The second problem that the speech language therapies fail to address is sensory processing issues. Okay, so sensory processing issues are sensory processing disorder, which is in short called SPD. So sensory processing disorder is prevalent among children with autism, and with estimates suggesting that around 90% of autistic kids experience some form of sensory processing disorder. So 90% of autistic kids have some form of sensory processing problems, okay? And if your child has sensory processing problem, here are some of the things that happens to him. So he might have a lot of difficulty regulating responses to stimuli, which is why loud noises might scare him. Bright lights might make him uncomfortable. Even dresses, certain texture of the clothes can also affect how the child is perceiving senses. It also affects how your child perceives food, which is why your child is a picky eater. Okay, so all of these things are actually connected with each other, and all of these things are actually contributing towards how your child is processing even the therapies. So a lot of the time, speech language therapists, they refer the child to an occupational therapist. Why? Because the sensory integration problems are not being addressed with the speech therapies. But occupational therapy in itself, I have found to be somewhat helpful for major issues, like, if you're trying to potty train your child, if you're trying to work on some behaviors and things like that. But in a lot of the countries, like in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, third world countries, in some African countries, what they're doing in the name of occupational therapy is actually exacerbating or increasing the problem of the child. How? Well, let me give an example, which I always give because I feel like that's the best example. If you have sensitive teeth, and which is a sensory issue, And I tell you, the best way for you to overcome is to numb the place by two ways. Either you numb by rubbing the teeth, or, using a sandpaper or a brush, like vigorously brushing the teeth. It will numb down your senses. So you are not going to feel those sensory overload. Sounds painful, right? This is what is happening for thousands of kids, okay? For thousands of kids. So the other way that they try to minimize is by numbing the brain by medications, okay? By medications like Respiradol. Then there was another one that recently came up. I forgot the name. It starts with an S, and I will link them obviously in the description. So all of those drugs, they are either trying to numb the brain from trying to understand what's going on, the sensory overload, or they are trying to, oversensitize body part or sensory behavior to try to numb it or reduce it. Both ways are actually harmful for your child. One of them is actually very painful, the first one. The second one is actually destroying the brain's own power of rewiring, understanding, creating, important stimuli and all of those things. Okay. All right. So the third obstacle or shortcoming that speech language therapies do not focus on, which is contributing to your child not gaining speech, is brain connectivity and neuroinflammation. So just now I spoke about gut-brain inflammation, which is like gut being inflamed, and that is contributing to the blood getting inflammation and that being transferred to the brain. So in connection with that, brain connectivity and neuroinflammation is also a part of contribution. So how does that happen? Research indicates that alterations in brain connectivity and chronic inflammation are associated with autism spectrum disorder. These neurological differences can impact language acquisition, communication skills. So traditionally, speech language therapy does not really target these underlying neurological issues. Okay, so highlighting the need for comprehensive approaches that address both behavioral and biological aspect of autism spectrum disorder. So the behavioral and the biological issue of ASD has to be worked on by what I call the 5 pillars, support system or protocol. So when you change the child's diet, you are helping the brain to get the proper nutrition. You are also reducing inflammatory food, which contributes to the gut inflammation, blood inflammation. You remove those inflammatory responses by removing the starting causes of inflammation, which number one is food, fried food, junk food, all of those things, even glutens and some dairies are also major contributors to gut-brain inflammation. The second pillar that I talk about is detox. So detox is how you remove the existing neurotoxins, which affects neuroinflammation. So neurotoxin is any toxin that affects the nerves. And neuroinflammation means any inflammation that is affecting the nerves, nervous system. So when you are doing the diet, you are doing the detox, you are removing the exposure to new toxins by changing the lifestyle, and you are understanding the child, relaxing the child, keeping the child relaxed and calm will also affect and help with the sensory issues, which was the second reason of speech not growing up. And the fifth pillar, which binds all of the 4, is the mindset of the mother. Like a really calm and regulated mom can actually help and contribute to the child's development. So if I do not work on all of these 5 pillars, I cannot overcome my child's sensory processing problem. I cannot overcome the child's brain connectivity issues. I cannot overcome the child's neuroinflammation, overcome the gut-brain inflammation. So how do you expect me to reach autism success without focusing on all of these 5 pillars? I don't know. If you want to learn, there is we have the best program, I would say, which is Autism Transformation and Success 6 months development. Okay, and that's in short called ATS 6MD. And ATS 6MD have very bigger track record of working on 400 plus students plus kids on the spectrum, and almost all of them were moderate to severe. Because here's the thing, parents with mild problems are not going to spend $5,000, $5,500, $6,000, $7,000 on a child's issues. They are only going to spend those amount when the child's situation or problems are actually pretty severe. So in lieu to that, I have been working with hundreds of kids on the spectrum who are severe. And Alhamdulillah, we have a success rate of over 94% of children improving at least by 50% within the first 6 months. And if you are interested, we are going to have a promotion, which is going to be our Eid al-Azha promotion. We run only 2 big promotions for ATS 6MD throughout the year. The first one was Ramadan. If you have missed that one, we have brought that back for a small period of time, because Eid al-Azha is not like a 1 month Ramadan time, right? It's going to be short. You have to stay until the end. I'm going to give you some resources to hook yourself up, to register, so that when we open that promotion, you get inside it, okay? And you're going to have some, inshallah, discounts and bonuses as well. So the fourth point that speech language therapy totally misses, and that is why your child is not speaking, is developmental trauma. Have you ever heard any doctor or any therapist talk about developmental trauma, like trauma from the childhood, trauma from the parent, affecting your child's behavior, speech, language? I don't think so, because I never heard it. I myself was the first person, I can say, in the autism community who started talking about mother's mindset. Remember, the number one pillar of Autism Success Academy's 5 pillars to Autism Success Protocol is mindset, is the emotional stability of the mother. And through my own work, because I was a mother of a very severely struggling child, and Alhamdulillah, we have lost his diagnosis. He's going to a private, public school, age-appropriate development, all of those things. That only happened when I started working on my trauma. I started healing my own trauma, because unless I was not the hurt people, I will not be hurting my people. Hurt people hurts people. If you have a lot of trauma yourself by how you were raised, by your own childhood, by your own adult adult experiences, then those experiences is going to become the blueprint of how you parent your child, which is why our first pillar, mother's mindset and emotional stability, fits the 5th pillar, which is the parenting, need-based parenting. If you are not a very calm and firm mom, you cannot change the diet. You will hesitate doing the detox. You will be very scared to change the lifestyle. You will not be able to understand your child, give in to your child, or most of the time you will either be very desperate, or you will be very angry, or you will be a damsel in distress. And we do not want that for you, because that certainly is not a very nice place to be. I have been there. I have been that damsel in distress. For 2 years, I waited for the therapist, the medical society to tell me what to do with my son. And when all of those things failed, the only thing that I could do was find my own way, and which is what we are going to teach you through our Autism Transformation and Success 6MD program. Okay? So developmental trauma. If you have been following me for a while, I have also, recently, I have launched a webinar. The link is also, the video is also in the YouTube channel. Just after this one, I think 2 or 3 videos after this one, you will find that. In that big training, I have spoken about how mother's trauma affects a child's brain development and what to do about it. you should certainly go and check that out. So the fourth point, like I was saying, based on all the research that's going on, is exposure to early life stressors such as abuse, neglect, poverty can have profound effects on brain development and language acquisition. Children who have experienced developmental trauma may exhibit delays in cognitive and language development. Traditional SLT may not be sufficiently addressing the emotional and psychological needs of the child that is stemming from this trauma, underscoring the importance of trauma-informed care. And Alhamdulillah, I am one of the world's pioneer, I would say, or first in the row who's giving trauma-informed care for autism kids. Okay. All right. So in summary, traditional speech language therapy remains a valuable tool. Of course, most mild kids do recover their speech, but if your child is severe, moderate, then you will also require a holistic, full approach, which I call the 5 pillars protocol, which helps you to understand why your child is having the inflammation, is having the sensory issues, how to overcome those challenges, and then to move on to development of speech, cognition, language, understanding, removal of hyperactivity, sleep issues, meltdown, tantrums. Life becomes really livable if you move towards that, if you work towards that, because that's the best way you can actually overcome your child's developmental delays, like I did and the other 400 parents who have worked with me did. And this is the best opportunity for you to work on the 4 obstacles that I have shared today through the 5 pillars protocol that I teach inside the programs, and help your child. Okay. I have hundreds of free trainings inside the YouTube channel. If you want to go through them, if this is the first video that you landed with me, then, go through the other videos that I have. If you have been following me for a while, the, Eid bonus is the best period to join the ATS 6MD, because ATS 6MD is the biggest program that I have. It is the chief offer that I have. It is the best service that I provide. It is a 50%, it's like a hybrid. Okay. Most autism coaching and therapies and things are actually either not working, like, speech therapies and stuff like that I have mentioned, not working. Even if it's a one-to-one support, it's not working. Or if there is something that is working, it's a group support system. Most coaching programs that I see online in our community, Instagram, Facebook, are mostly group coaching. And I have understood and realized that every mom needs to have their own questions answered privately, not in front of a bunch of students sharing how she has failed for the 111th time. So our program, Alhamdulillah, ATS 6MD, provides about 50% one-to-one support. So you're going to get a lot of one-to-one coaching from me, from my other coaches. I have 5 working with me. So all of these coaches are going to give you one-to-one sessions. So that's 50% of our program. And the other 50% is going through the course portal and, learning from your fellow peers, coming to the group coaching classes, which happens like 6 times a month. And I am trying to also incorporate as much of additional emails and, group Q&A supports as possible. So we do 5 days a week. We give support to our elite students who are ATS 6MD students, and all of those things help the mother to first get out of her own way, to heal her own trauma, to understand why she is getting stuck, her fears, so that now you can work on the diet, work on the detox, work on the lifestyle, work on the need-based parenting. All of these 5 pillars together, when done accordingly, done right, you will see improvements in your child's, whatever the age is. I have worked with 3-year-old, 2-year-old. I have also worked with 8, 9, 10, 12, 13-year-olds. And all of the kids have shown improvement if the mother did not give up, because there goes the 94% success rate. Because sometimes some people who just don't want to work on their trauma, The ATA 6MD is actually for pretty serious parents. Parents and moms who are serious about their child's development, who are serious about not doing any more BS protocols, not wasting any more time, not wasting any more money, but to hunker down and do the best protocol out there. Because here's the thing, a bunch of supplements every single day is not going to give your child speech. A bunch of this and that is not going to help. What you need is a system that is simple, that is supervised daily, that is customized based on your and your child's needs as it grows, and that moves with you, that, you know, how to say, like, it becomes you, it becomes your lifestyle. That is something that you need for your child's ultimate brain development. And if you want that, please check the description. I will leave all the links there, and you can join the you can join the wait list, and then you can also speak to me. I have some slots available to speak to me. You can bring your husband, and the links will be in the description so that you can come to these calls. I call them clarity calls, to give you clarity on where you are stuck, why you are stuck, and what you have to do. And let's get cracking on this autism success together, me and you. You are not alone. I love this. Bye.